Around 5 miles east of the town of Twin Falls in the U.S. state of Idaho, a spectacular and fascinating natural phenomenon attracts much attention. A plaque highlights the fact that Frederick Adams founded this nature park, a park that is extremely popular. Shoshone Falls is one of the most visited attractions of this region and is also very well known way beyond Idaho. The water plunges 65 meters down into the depths below. It's a breathtaking sight. The waterfalls are at their most impressive between April and May. The waters of Shoshone Falls are supplied by Snake River, one of the longest and most important tributaries of the legendary Columbia rivers. The source of Snake River, whose name was created by the Shoshone Indians, lies at the continental watershed of North America, namely Yellowstone National Park. Previously, the river was known as Lewis River as a result of the Lewis and Clark expedition that explored this section of the river in 1805. The Lewis and Clark expedition lasted 2 years and became known as the first transcontinental expedition in the history of the United States. Both the view and the sound of the mighty Shoshone Falls was a breathtaking experience for the members of this historic expedition. Shoshone Falls continues to be equally fascinating. On the edge of the waterfalls are huge rock walls and dense vegetation. The magnificent water masses of Snake River are so dramatic that today they're also known as the Niagara Falls of the West. The water flows for 300 meters over the edge and in several steps into a large semicircular basalt stone pool. In some sections, the falls appear like a mysterious veil. Shoshone Falls must have made quite an impression within the superstitious minds of the local Native American Indians. The Shoshone once fished for salmon at the foot of the waterfalls. A good strategy, as the falls are a natural barrier. Increasing tourism meant that many changes had to be made to the landscape in order to handle large numbers of people safely, yet allow them the best and most natural view of the falls. Thankfully, the changes have in no way interfered with the beauty of this place. However, one problem is the draining of some of the water from Snake River. What is necessary for Idaho's agriculture is a major problem for Shoshone Falls, as a major loss of its water would of course be catastrophic for this natural wonder. The consequences for the unique ecological system of these waterfalls would be enormous. But, as things are, the remarkable natural spectacle of these water masses takes place each spring. It is then that the mighty roar of Shoshone Falls is heard, as it has been for thousands of years. According to the most recent archaeology, the history of settlement in the region of Twin Falls dates back 14,500 years. However, today, the area is relatively sparsely inhabited. So the mighty basalt rock of the waterfalls has remained mainly untouched by man. And it is only water that eats its way through the stone. The origin of Shoshone Falls dates back to between 30 and 60,000 years. The falls form a natural barrier for wandering salmon. They gathered in the lower pools and were easy prey for the Indians. Indeed, the pools themselves are a wonderful sight. The sunlight combined with the spray of the falling water masses creates some truly amazing rainbows. Man's visible effects on the falls have been few and far between. Even the hydroelectric power station at Shoshone Falls has not really impacted on the local scenery. Indeed, the vast majority of the basalt rock walls were not damaged by the construction of the oldest hydroelectric power plant in Idaho, Magic Valley. For geologists, the huge rock walls of Shoshone Falls provide a valuable insight into the formation of the North American continent. The power plant was built in 1907 and has left its mark on some of the landscape, although it was planned with much care and consideration for the local environment. But elsewhere, the nature of this region is totally unspoiled, and it has a wild and untamed beauty. The incomparable purity of the landscape and the surroundings of Shoshone Falls is a marvelous sight to behold and is enjoyed by one and all. Far into the future, water will also play an important role in Magic Valley and will continue to find its way through the rocks and down into the valley below. The mighty sound of Shoshone Falls will never be silenced.